Hello everyone, friends. About 12 years ago, the premiere of James Cameron's fantasy film Avatar took place. The director went to her for more than 10 years. While working on the picture, Cameron's team literally turned the process of creating a movie around. I remember how, 6 months before the release of the film, there was a hype around him, but I was extremely skeptical about him. But after watching the film and appreciating the director's work, I realized that he was creating a film for all time. Since both Titanic and Avatar are brilliant paintings of their time. Today I want to tell you about little-known or just interesting facts about the movie Avatar. Also go to my Telegram channel, where new movies are published every day, as well as fragments from films that are not included in the video on YouTube. So let's get started. The budget of the film Avatar was $237 million, and the box office was $2.8 billion, which to this day keeps the film in first place in the list of the highest-grossing films. And it's been, for a second, 12 years. After the appearance of Gollum on the big screens in the 2002 year, James Cameron was convinced that the effects of CJ had progressed enough to make his film as realistic as possible, but no less time-consuming, since some scenes of CJ rendering took an average of 47 hours. Each minute of the film took 17 gigabytes, that is, to create the Na'vi world, a petabyte was needed, that's 1024 terabytes of disk space. 4,000 servers were involved in the work on the picture, the processors of which numbered 35,000 cores. Na'vi's appearance was influenced by a dream of Cameron's mother, in which she observed a 4-meter-tall woman with blue skin. Cameron said, "I like blue, it's a good color. Besides, there is a parallel with Hindu deities." Similar creatures appeared in his first script, written in 1976 or 77, which featured a planet inhabited by blue aliens. They also became the basis for the image of Na'vi. The Na'vi language was created from scratch by linguist Dr. Paul Fromer. Cameron hired him to create a language that would be easy for actors to pronounce, but which would not be similar to any human language. Fromer created about 1,000 words. Sam Warrington, an Australian, said in an interview that it was easier for him to master the Na'vi language than the American accent. All the live Avatar scenes were filmed in the New Zealand city of Wellington, where huge sets were erected. For their construction, a huge substructure was created with the involvement of 150 construction contractors. The real decorations include a communication room with sarcophagi, with the help of which human consciousness is transferred to the Avatar's body, a biolab, scientists work there and tanks with amniotic fluid are stored, necessary for the bodies of Avatars who have reached a state of maturity during the 6 years of travel from Earth to Pandora. The control center and military bastion of Armar Pay. Jake's atrophied legs were prosthetics cast from the legs of a real paralytic. Sam Worthington's real legs were hidden in a wheelchair and digitally removed in post-production. But the cigarette that Weaver's character smokes is generated by a computer. If the characters in the film were wearing masks, then these masks were without glass. CJ glass was added to the breathing masks as another layer of special effects. Such a measure was necessary because the main characters were often filmed surrounded by a green background that would create green highlights on the glass. The jungle on Pandora was grown in the literal meaning of the word. Using a program to manage the crowd of messes, employees from Vito Digital have grown forests on Pandora. At first, most of the trees were modeled manually, then about 2,000 more were generated procedurally. All plants and trees were tied, so they could easily interact with any objects and they could be animated using dynamics. Next, a program was written that, based on a bunch of parameters, controlled the growth of the forest on the created terrain. For example, at first large trees grew, they obscured the light and small plants deprived of light died. Therefore, the plants were looking for the remaining sunny places, and all this could be controlled and simulated over and over again until the right jungle would be created. Most of the animal sounds heard in the film are recycled dinosaur sounds from Jurassic Park 1993. In particular, these are the sounds of T-Rex and Raptor. The famous mountains, islands on the planet Pandora from the movie Avatar were created in the image of a real place on Earth. This miracle is called the Wu Lin Yuan Mountains, located in a national park in China. In the 2010 year, the mountain, whose name translates as the Southern Heavenly Pillar and which was supposedly the prototype of the Pandora landscape, was renamed Hallelujah Avatar. The idea to change the name of the mountain is connected with the desire of local authorities to capitalize on the success of the film. They hoped that this would attract tourists to the region. This news caused mass indignation. The city administration was accused of wanting to earn extra money and worshipping Western culture. Officials called the incident a misunderstanding. The mountain was returned to its original name, and the name Hallelujah Avatar was adopted as an additional one. It should be noted that in China, the wide distribution of the film was banned by censorship. The film was released in a limited edition only in 3D format in several cinemas. The propaganda department of the CPC Central Committee decided that the film could incite violence. There are also many scenes in the film that were cut due to the low audience rating of 13+. Most importantly, the scenes were not cut out, where a close-up shot is shot in the head on a 20-meter cinema screen. Cut scenes where the blue breasts of the Na'vi representatives appeared in the frame very defiantly. Representatives of Playboy magazine asked Cameron how much money and effort he invested to make the heroine of Avatar Neytiri look so sexy. Cameron said that he had planned from the very beginning that the main character should have breasts. And this is even despite the fact that her breasts are absolutely meaningless, since representatives of her race are not placental mammals. In any case, the scenes that were cut were included in the DVD version of the film, rather like all the other cut scenes. On the very first day of the start of sales of the film on Blu-ray, a record of 1.5 million pieces was set. This is more than the former record holder of The Dark Knight, and he sold 600,000 units. 9 and Blue editions combined sold more than 4 million copies on the first day. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the continuation of this film. Back in the 2018 year, James Cameron said that the filming of the main cast was completed, which means there are several years left before the release of the film, since a considerable part of the work falls out after the end of the filming of the picture. The release date is scheduled for December 2022 year. And that's it for me. Subscribe to the channel, like it if you liked the video, and also click the bell so as not to miss the release of new videos on my channel. There was a moment with you. See you soon.